Astroneer is a unique survival game that blends exploration, resource management, and creativity. Set in a vibrant, procedurally generated universe, you play as an astronaut tasked with surviving and thriving on alien planets. The game stands out for its charming art style and the freedom it gives players to shape the environment using the terrain tool, letting you dig, build, and reshape the landscapes to find resources and create paths. Cooperative play adds a layer of strategy, allowing you and friends to work together in constructing elaborate bases or exploring hidden caves. The game has no direct enemies, which shifts the focus to exploration and puzzle solving. However, survival depends on managing oxygen levels and resources, making it challenging without the stress of traditional combat. Astroneer feels like a fresh take on survival by encouraging curiosity and experimentation, and it's an ideal choice for players who prefer exploration and creativity over combat. Frostpunk 2 takes players into a dark, unforgiving world where survival depends on balancing resources and managing a city in an icebound wasteland. Set 30 years after the first game, Frostpunk 2 introduces oil as a new key resource, replacing coal and expanding the already intense decisions players must make. The game's core still revolves around moral and ethical dilemmas, challenging players to weigh humanity against survival, often with chilling consequences. This sequel ramps up the strategic depth, demanding constant oversight of both resources and the morale of the city's population. The visuals are stunningly bleak, with snow-covered landscapes and decaying structures that heighten the tension. As society continues to crumble, Frostpunk 2's gripping atmosphere and complex choices keep players on edge, forcing them to question what sacrifices they're willing to make to survive. It's an intense, story-driven experience that tests both strategy and the human spirit in extreme conditions. Icarus takes survival to new extremes in a hostile sci-fi world. Set on an alien planet, players face aggressive weather, limited resources, and constant threats in their quest for valuable exotic materials. You'll need to gather resources, craft shelter, and upgrade equipment to withstand deadly storms and animal attacks. Unique to Icarus is its mission-based gameplay, where each session has a set time limit, adding pressure to succeed before returning to the safety of orbit. This game's challenging environments and time-sensitive goals make survival a genuine struggle, combining immersive visuals with tense, high-stakes gameplay that keeps you coming back for more. Sons of the Forest throws players into an intense survival experience on a mysterious island filled with secrets and horrifying threats. You start out trying to locate a missing billionaire, but quickly find that survival is far from straightforward. The game's mechanics are a huge step up from its predecessor, with advanced AI for enemies and allies that makes every encounter feel dynamic and tense. Crafting and building are essential, as you'll need sturdy shelters and clever traps to fend off the island's terrifying inhabitants. The open world feels alive and unpredictable, shifting from eerie calm to chaotic danger in an instant. Sons of the Forest balances realistic survival elements with horror, making every choice crucial. With stunning visuals, it captures both the beauty and terror of the wilderness, making it a top-tier survival game that keeps you on edge throughout. Subnautica Below Zero plunges players into an icy alien ocean where survival demands exploring frigid depths and dangerous landscapes. Set in the Arctic region of Planet 4546b, this game challenges players to brave harsh conditions, scavenge resources, and uncover the mysteries behind an abandoned research outpost. The game's stunning visuals bring underwater ecosystems to life, from glowing fauna to treacherous predators lurking in the dark. Crafting equipment, building bases, and navigating freezing waters add to the tension, while the narrative-driven quest keeps you engaged. Below Zero's combination of exploration and survival makes it a standout in the genre. Green Hell throws you into the heart of the Amazon rainforest, challenging you to survive in one of the planet's harshest environments. With realistic survival mechanics, you'll need to find food, purify water, and fend off dangerous wildlife. The game stands out for its psychological depth. Your character suffers from isolation, with hallucinations and inner monologues reflecting the mental toll of the wilderness. Crafting and building are essential to survival, while the weather and ecosystem add extra layers of difficulty. A storyline slowly unfolds, providing mystery and a gripping narrative amidst all the survival challenges, making Green Hell both intense and immersive. Valheim is a Norse-inspired survival game that throws players into a vast, procedurally generated Viking afterlife. Tasked with proving your worth to Odin, you start with basic tools, crafting weapons, shelter, and armor while battling the cold and dangerous creatures lurking around every corner. One standout aspect is Valheim's co-op mode, allowing up to 10 players to work together to explore and survive. The game strikes a balance between challenge and freedom, with progression tied to exploration, boss fights, and resource gathering. Its world is vast, with biomes ranging from meadows to swamps and snowy mountains, each bringing new threats and resources. The game's simple yet charming graphics don't overwhelm, focusing instead on smooth gameplay and immersive soundscapes. Valheim is perfect for those who love to explore, craft, and battle alongside friends in a beautifully wild environment. The Long Dark, Tales from the Far Territory expands on the already intense survival experience of The Long Dark. Set in the unforgiving Canadian wilderness, this DLC introduces new regions that push players to their limits as they navigate through remote and treacherous areas. It's a game of harsh choices where resources are sparse and the bitter cold can be as deadly as a bear attack. Tales from the Far Territory adds unique survival challenges, deeper storytelling through episodic content, and new tools and items that enhance gameplay without compromising the game's brutal realism. If you're a fan of strategic planning and atmospheric immersion, this expansion amplifies The Long Dark's tension-filled journey with fresh terrain and threats, challenging even experienced survivalists. Ark Survival Ascended is a remastered version of the classic Ark Survival Evolved, taking players back to its dangerous and awe-inspiring prehistoric world with a major graphics upgrade using Unreal Engine 5. In this world, survival is intense. Players must gather resources, build shelters, and fend off wild dinosaurs and other hostile players. The game introduces new visuals, making the environments and creatures even more immersive and lifelike. Alongside its solo play, multiplayer adds a thrilling layer of unpredictability where you can form alliances or wage wars. Survival Ascended also includes a revamped creature AI, making encounters more dynamic and challenging, especially when it comes to taming and training these beasts. Whether you're a new player or a returning fan, it's an intense survival experience that rewards strategy, grit, and a knack for building in the face of relentless threats. Rust is a brutal multiplayer survival game that drops players into a hostile world where survival is anything but guaranteed. You start with nothing but a rock and a torch, and every item must be scavenged, crafted, or stolen. The game's core loop revolves around gathering resources, building bases, and defending yourself against other players. Rust's PvP environment is as challenging as its PvE aspects. Wildlife, hunger, and exposure constantly threaten you. It's a game where you can team up with others to build a fortress or go solo in a dangerous, no-rules landscape. From chaotic raids to tense alliances, Rust's intense gameplay tests both your survival instincts and social strategy, making every playthrough uniquely unpredictable. DayZ plunges you into a brutal open-world survival scenario set in the fictional post-Soviet country of Chernaris, where danger comes from every angle. It's not just the zombies that pose a threat. Hostile players, wildlife, and scarce resources make survival challenging. The game's most unique aspect is its permadeath mechanic. Losing your life means losing everything, which forces players to carefully consider every move. Scavenging for food, water, and weapons is vital, and the game emphasizes realism, including mechanics like hunger, thirst, and body temperature. Encounters with other players add unpredictability, turning simple moments into tense standoffs or rare partnerships. DayZ's sheer unpredictability and unforgiving world make it a thrilling, high-stakes survival experience where every session is different. Don't Starve Together takes the survival genre in a quirky, darkly whimsical direction, throwing players into a world filled with strange creatures, harsh weather, and constant threats to survival. Developed by Cly Entertainment, it's a multiplayer adaptation of the original Don't Starve, letting friends explore, gather resources, and fend off nightmarish creatures together. The game's hand-drawn, gothic art style and eerie atmosphere are unforgettable, making every decision feel life or death. With hunger, sanity, and health all in constant decline, players must cooperate to survive, managing limited resources while building shelters and crafting tools. Its ever-changing seasons and random world events add a dynamic layer to each session, ensuring no two runs feel the same. Whether you're braving it alone or with friends, Don't Starve Together delivers a tense, unforgettable survival experience. State of Decay 2 offers a gritty, intense survival experience in a zombie-infested world where your choices define the story. Set in an open world, this game emphasizes not just survival, but community building and management. You gather resources, search for safe havens, and make tough calls about who joins your group. Each character with unique skills, strengths, and weaknesses that can significantly impact your chances of survival. The game's cooperative multiplayer mode adds a thrilling layer, allowing up to 3 friends to join you, tackling hordes together and managing supplies. The real challenge here is the constant tension between scarce resources, the dangers of the undead, and the need to maintain morale within your group. With random events and a dynamic world, State of Decay 2 delivers a realistic survival horror experience that keeps you on edge, making every decision feel crucial. 7 Days to Die throws you into a post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, blending survival mechanics with intense horror. The game stands out for its dynamic day and night cycle, which shifts gameplay drastically. During the day, you'll scavenge resources and fortify your base, but when night falls, zombies grow faster and deadlier, forcing you to stay on high alert. Crafting and building are core mechanics, with endless options for traps, weapons, and defenses. Each 7-day cycle brings a blood moon event where waves of undead relentlessly attack, testing all your preparations. This mix of survival horror and open-world exploration keeps the experience tense and unpredictable, perfect for fans of challenging, high-stakes gameplay. SCUM is a hardcore survival game that dives into extreme realism. Set in an open-world prison island, you play as a convict fighting to survive against nature, other players, and a host of dangers. SCUM's standout feature is its depth. You have to manage metabolism, body temperature, and even digestion, giving a gritty, immersive survival experience. Crafting and combat demand attention to detail, with realistic ballistics and an array of weapons and traps. This game doesn't hold your hand. Every decision matters, and one mistake can mean the end. If you're after survival with a brutal edge, SCUM delivers. Raft is a unique survival experience that throws you onto a tiny raft in the middle of an endless ocean. You start with nothing but a hook and your wits, using anything that floats by to slowly expand your raft, gather resources, and craft essential tools. It's an intense test of creativity and resource management, with the constant threat of sharks circling below. As you explore, you uncover mysteries and scattered islands, giving a sense of progression and story as you build your floating base. With multiplayer options, Raft becomes a cooperative challenge, where you and your friends must work together to survive and thrive in this unforgiving seascape. Minecraft Caves and Cliffs breathes new life into survival with stunning cave systems, towering mountains, and endless exploration. In this update, Minecraft brings in lush caves filled with unique flora, glowing vines, and axolotls, which are friendly mobs that add charm and function to the survival journey. The cliffs have been expanded to create vast mountainscapes perfect for scaling and exploring, adding layers of challenge with steep terrain and unique block types like copper, which changes color over time. Caves, too, now have dripstone and deep slate, creating new survival strategies and making underground expeditions thrilling. Plus, the warden lurks in the deepest areas, making mining trips feel tense and adventurous. Caves and Cliffs transforms the Minecraft world with fresh sights and challenges, offering an expansive, immersive survival experience for both newcomers and veterans alike. Escape from Tarkov takes survival gaming to a new level with its ultra-realistic mechanics and intense gameplay. Set in a fictional war-torn city, Tarkov, this hardcore shooter combines PvP and PvE elements in a brutal environment where every decision counts. Players navigate dangerous zones, scavenging for loot, managing resources, and confronting AI and real player threats, with each match holding the risk of losing gear permanently. The realistic gunplay, detailed equipment customization, and a steep learning curve create an experience that's both thrilling and unforgiving. The game stands out for its tense atmosphere and immersive detail, pushing players to master its systems to survive. If you're into intense, high-stakes survival, Escape from Tarkov offers one of the most authentic experiences in the genre. Terraria is a timeless classic in the survival genre, combining action, crafting, and exploration in a 2D sandbox world that's constantly surprising. Players start with minimal resources and are free to explore vast biomes, fight enemies, and uncover rare treasures. One standout feature is the game's progression system. As you gather resources and defeat bosses, your character grows stronger, allowing you to tackle tougher foes and even take on events that can change the entire landscape. Terraria's charm lies in its unpredictable world. No two playthroughs are ever alike, With tons of items, biomes, and the freedom to build your base anywhere, the game encourages creativity and strategy at every turn. And thanks to frequent updates, it still feels fresh, with new bosses, items, and mechanics keeping players engaged for hours on end. Whether solo or co-op, Terraria is an essential experience for any survival game fan looking for an adventure that never gets old. Project Zomboid is a hardcore survival game that throws you into a zombie apocalypse with a simple but chilling question: how long can you survive? Set in a detailed open world, you'll manage food, water, and sleep, along with skills like carpentry, cooking, and first aid. The game is famous for its depth. Even small actions can impact survival, from looting supplies to barricading windows. The zombies are relentless, responding to noise and sight, making stealth and planning crucial. It's also got multiplayer, letting you survive or die with friends. Project Zomboid's realism and unforgiving mechanics make it one of the most intense survival experiences on PC.